Hello, how's everyone doing today? Welcome back to another edition of the World of Sports on Just TV with your host Brandon Rudix, also known as Rudi here. Snides couldn't make it today. It's his little boy's birthday, so I'm going pulling the show solo. We're coming to you from the gym here. Look at that. It's where I've been spending most of my time lately. I have a boxing match coming up in July, so figured I'd be coming live to you from the gym here. First, I'd like to say sorry for missing the last couple weeks or so. We had the holidays and then a huge bout of sickness between me and Ryan and our families. So glad to finally be back on the air here. So sorry we missed a while there, but we're back and stronger than ever here. So yeah, I'm excited to be back. Once again, this is audience discussion. If anyone wants to weigh in on any sports, anything at all, feel free to comment or message or whatever you prefer. But open discussion here. So if anyone wants to chat about the All-Star game and the Super Bowl coming up, feel free to comment. And we can have a discussion going here. So I'm going to start first off with going... let me just share the page here. All right, so big news, of course, with lots of controversy. We have our Super Bowl teams ready to go for next week. So next Sunday's Super Bowl, and it's very exciting. With some controversy, of course, as always with the NFL referees. That's how it works. So we have the New England Patriots, of course, as always, taking on the Los Angeles Rams. This game is held at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. 4:30 p.m. Mountain is going to be kickoff. So I'm going to say right now, next week, we're not going to end up having this show here just because it is one of the biggest days of sports in the year. So I'll be attending multiple Super Bowl parties, and we'll report back the week after how that all went. I personally, doesn't matter to me who wins, but it's nice seeing the Patriots keep up their dynasty. Tom Brady going for six rings. We already know he's the GOAT, the best QB in NFL history as far as I'm concerned. He has more rings than anybody, so should be an exciting game between Tom Brady and Jared Goff next week. So once again, 4:30 p.m. Mountain is the time for the Super Bowl next week. Of course, the week before the Super Bowl is the Pro Bowl. That was held today, of course, in Hawaii. It looks like the AFC took that game 26-7. So, if anyone is big on watching the All-Star games or the Pro Bowls, this was the weekend for it. So, 26-7 for the AFC over the NFC in the Pro Bowl today. In NHL, we had the All-Star Game, of course. I love talking about this because I absolutely love the All-Star Game. I'm one of those who watches every single year, and I thoroughly enjoy it. The skills competitions and watching the 3-on-3 play. It was really exciting to see Erik Karlsson throwing up them passes to Connor McDavid, and that's exactly what I wanted from this weekend, and I was happy that happened. So maybe we'll see Erik Karlsson enjoying playing with Draisaitl and McDavid there. Maybe we'll see him sign in Edmonton in the off season. But if we all know Erik Karlsson, he does enjoy Tampa. He was seen with Stamkos having dinner afterwards and posted on Instagram something. So if you have Instagram, go over and check out Erik Karlsson's page there. But he did post a picture of Steven Stamkos saying future teammates. So hey, Tampa Bay is doing so amazing already. Could you imagine if they added Erik Karlsson to that core there? Holy cow. McDavid, fastest skater 3 years in a row. If that was a doubt on anyone's mind, I don't know. But 3 years in a row. Before last year, no player has ever won the fastest skater 2 years in a row, and now Connor's at 3. So pretty amazing. If anyone will watch, you saw Hillary Schofield give it a run as well, and she was about 1 second longer than Connor was. So very cool that they had different women hockey players at the All-Star game, doing different skills and such. It was very cool to see that. Shout out to CCM for gifting her the $25,000 there, if anyone knew what was going on with that. The Oilers' Leon Draisaitl won the Best Passer competition. So when you win an event like that, you're gifted $25,000 for charity or whatever, I guess whatever you want to do with it. Leon Draisaitl won among the NHL players, but this Hillary Schofield actually finished 1 second quicker than him. So there's a bit of controversy that she should get the money, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, CCM is going to be donating her $25,000 for that. So very cool. Very, very exciting all-star skills competition. I absolutely love it. It's always exciting for me personally. Johnny Gaudreau winning the puck control relay. So the Alberta team's actually winning three events at the skills competition. Pretty darn exciting. So congrats to Connor and Leon and Johnny Hockey there for their weekend, All-Star weekend. The games, the big game that was yesterday there was the Pacific team lost that one, their first game. So the way it works is there's 6 teams, and then 2 play each other, and then that winner moves on. The 2 play each other, that winner moves on, then they play at the end. 2 10-minute periods, I believe it is, or 2 20-minute periods, 3-on-3 hockey. So the first game, the Central All-Stars blew out the Pacific All-Stars 10-4. Then the next game was Metropolitan against the Atlantic. Metropolitan won that one. So then it was Central and Metropolitan down to the final game. Central won that one 10-5. So the Central Division is your NHL All-Star Game winner. Congrats to those guys. Sidney Crosby voted the All-Star Game MVP because he needs a new Honda car, right? So I guess we'll see what Sidney Crosby does with that Honda that he won, but congrats to him for that. This is only he doesn't play in very many All-Star games, so he actually lit it up pretty good for this one. So hockey's out for a while here. We got the All-Star break. I don't know when the official schedule resumes, but I know the Oilers play February 2nd, so I'm going to talk Oilers for a bit here. Connor McDavid saying, we're only 3 points out of the playoffs. We're going to make it. And as a fan, and I look at Connor say that and the fire in his eyes, you have to believe it. This isn't like last year or the year before when Cam Talbot says, we're going to make it. When Connor says we're going to do it, then you got to believe that. He's the captain of the team. He's the best hockey player in the world. I believe it, and I'm fully on board, fully supporting my team still. We're only 3 points out of a wild card spot, and lots of teams are doing good, but we'll see what happens after the All-Star break. So I'm still pulling for my Oilers. I think they'll make the playoffs, but we'll see what happens. How cool would a Calgary Flames Edmonton Oilers playoff series be? That would be pretty hectic in Alberta here. I'd love to see that. Once again, this is open discussion here. If anyone wants to talk any kind of sports, baseball, hockey, basketball, Super Bowl, Puppy Bowl, cricket, whatever, water polo, you guys want to talk some sports, feel free to tune in here and have some discussion with me, as I am solo tonight, so let's try and keep the conversation going here. Very excited to do this boxing match that I was talking about here. I just decided, hey, it's time to get going in a new hobby, so I decided to take up boxing, and then I got a match coming up in July, so pretty excited for that myself. Lots of training to happen beforehand, hence why I'm coming to you from the gym here. Not really, it's a green screen, but it looks like I'm trying hard, right? I guess after All-Star Weekend with the NHL, next comes trade deadline, really. So, going to have an exciting trade deadline to see who's going to be sellers, who's going to be buyers. See where teams end up in the next few weeks here. Looks like the Kings are going to be sellers, maybe trying to get rid of Dustin Brown's contract. I can see Jeff Carter on the move. Maybe they want to move on from Jonathan Quick. Who knows about that one? But I see the Kings being some sellers here at the deadline, as well as all your bottom feeders, really, right? One interesting aspect, or one interesting thing that came up to me was the Oilers may be interested in Dadonov there in Florida, and that's pretty exciting because he's a right winger and a pretty great shot, so that'd be cool to see if that happened. One of the funnest times of year is trade deadline, so if anyone has some crazy trade ideas that you want for your team or anything at all, any crazy trades, feel free to comment on here. Let's see what we can get going and see what the craziest trade ideas are. Not really much going on in baseball, of course. You had the Hall of Fame votes all in. One thing that came up, Roy Halladay, of course, is first ballot Hall of Famer. We all knew that was going to happen. But his family decided on going in a neutral plaque, not having a team color or a team hat on your plaque. And there's a bit of controversy about that because even Roy Halladay himself is on record saying he wants to retire. He wants to retire and go into the Hall of Fame as a Toronto Blue Jay. He spent most of his career there, and that's where his heart was. So, I mean, if it's on record of him saying that's what he wants to go in as, I don't understand why his family is going against his wishes. But to each their own, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's distraught for me myself because it's Roy Halladay. He is the Blue Jay, so for him to go in as a neutral plaque is kind of feels like a bit of a slap in the face for Toronto's Blue Jays fans. I can't imagine what his family's going through, but for that to happen, that's just how I feel about it. If anyone feels differently, feel free to comment and we can debate this. But Roy Halladay, first ballot Hall of Famer, going in a neutral plaque. Exciting for baseball this year coming up. The Blue Jays, Bo Bichette, Guerrero Jr., even Biggio, that's Craig Biggio's son. The youth movement is alive and well in Toronto, and hopefully we get far. It bugs the heck out of me. We're paying $40 million for Tulowitzki to play for the Yankees, but that's how it goes when Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins are your management team, I guess. Anyone have any idea how they think the Blue Jays are going to do, or any other baseball team? Feel free to comment on here and chat some baseball. It's a few more months till pitchers and catchers arrive, so baseball season's coming up eventually. So here's one. How about Pete Walker? Still not in the Hall of Fame. The best Canadian baseball player, and he's still not in the Hall of Fame. They're talking about Derek Jeter becoming a first ballot Hall of Famer. Pete Walker has a higher WAR average than Jeter there, so that's kind of a joke. But hopefully, in our lifetime, Pete Walker makes it into the MLB Hall of Fame there. Basketball news, trade deadline coming up for that as well. I didn't catch any of their all-star stuff because it just doesn't interest me that much. I do enjoy basketball, but I like the regular season and playoffs, of course. Steve Kerr, fastest coach in any four major sport history to do 300 wins. So that's out of the NBA, NHL, MLB, NFL. Steve Kerr has 300 wins. And get this, 377 games. So that's only 77 losses out of 377 games. So pretty outrageous. So congrats to Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors on that. That's a pretty cool record to own, I would say. Toronto's still doing pretty good. Kawhi Leonard getting lots of rest lately. Pretty annoying myself. These guys are paid countless millions of dollars they're paid, and basketball's not that hard of a sport, and these guys are getting so much rest. 3 games rest lately for Kawhi. Like, why? He's young, he's big, he's paid lots of money. He can play those games, no issue. I don't understand at all why they're sitting players this long. Like, just doesn't make sense to me. If you have any idea why they sit players like that, feel free to comment and let me know. But it just doesn't make any sense how these guys are paid that much money. They're that young, and they're being sat out games. If I'm a paying customer, I'm going to want to go pay to see Kawhi, right? So, whatever, that's how Masai's working. Masai Ujiri there in Toronto, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, really. Other NBA news, looks like I heard somewhere DeMarcus Cousins may be on the move, but I don't see anything of that right in front of me here. Trade deadline, of course, coming up, so that's always exciting to see. That's one exciting thing about NBA and basketball is you get these superstars on the move a fair amount. You don't see that very often, to see superstars in the NHL, or it happens a fair amount in the MLB, but you don't very much see superstars on the move all the time. So that's why NBA trade deadline is rather exciting, to see those superstars, see where they're going to end up. Tom Brady, back to football. We're just going to go everywhere here, wherever my brain takes me for sports here. Tom Brady saying there's zero chance he retires after this Super Bowl. So Tom Brady still wants to go again after Super Bowl 53 here. 41 years old, oldest quarterback to ever start a Super Bowl. And on Sunday, he can become the oldest quarterback to ever win one. Of course, that is Peyton Manning won it at 39 with the Broncos in 2015. So Tom Brady looking for more records, looking to salute his status as GOAT there. Very exciting to see. I don't know if anyone watched the last few games, but if you have anything to say about the crazy controversies with the refs, I know a lot of people are quite upset with that Saints game. Even the NFL came out and said, yeah, we kind of got it wrong there, and that's kind of where it stopped. Nothing happened since then. So if anyone wants to talk about those crazy controversial missed calls or anything like that, feel free to comment here. It is an open broadcast, so you can comment and we can have a chat about it. Anyone excited for the halftime show at the Super Bowl? Looks like it's going to be Maroon 5, so that could be exciting. Gladys Knight singing the national anthem. I just see Travis Scott and Big Boy are joining Maroon 5 at the halftime show. So we should see how this one goes. I don't know if how everyone else gets excited for the Super Bowl, but I love it every year. I always watch it and try and go out for it because there's lots of giveaways around town, but always enjoyable to watch the Super Bowl for myself. If anyone wants to join me, I'm gonna be at Average Joe's next Sunday for their Super Bowl party. So feel free to come on down and we can have a chat and all that jazz. Enjoy some good company. But yeah, I don't know what much else to say here. I'm solo today, so the other guys aren't feeling too great, but we'll get them back in the studio as soon as possible here. I am working on getting some new guests in. There's one fella I'm talking to bring in. He's actually working on this big project about athletes and medical marijuana, if that would be better for them to use instead of these opioids and stuff. So he has a big project going. He's interviewed former NHLers, and I'm very excited to bring him on eventually to have a chat about all that, because honestly, medical marijuana is way better than any opioid you can get. So maybe controversial saying that, but I will have a guest in here to talk about that as well. And I'm working on bringing in some MMA guests as well. Jordan Murray, who is a ex-MMA fighter, trying to get him in here as soon as possible. Anyone around town who's involved in any kind of sports, and if I can get him on here, if you know of anyone who would be interested, then yeah, feel free to let me know, and come on the show here, because as you can see, it's just me, and it's good to have some guests here because it can get a little slow at times. Yeah, if anyone wants to come and be a guest or chat some sports, feel free to message the page or me personally. But looks like I don't know what much else to say for today here. Things are rather slow with the few weeks off here with the All-Star games and all that. But an exciting weekend coming up in sports here, the Super Bowl, of course. So I'm excited to watch that one. We won't be here next week, but the week after we'll be here to recap that. So we're going to shut her down here a bit early. Next week or next time we'll have some more people on here and have more chats. But hey, thank you guys for watching, and I'm glad to be back. Sorry it took so long to come back, but I look forward to chatting with you guys week after next. Have a good one and enjoy.